definitely the way that I often put it for people is that people that I see in counseling, if we look at it, they're kind of really dealing with like a specific diagnosable like mental health issue, anxiety, depression, although, everyone can deal with some anxiety or feeling blue. But my job in counseling is really to take them from, I often say, if this is baseline, we're trying to take you from below baseline to baseline.
Instinct is very important. That's that thing you feel in your gut when you're not sure if something's right or wrong. Go with it. Go with what your instinct is telling you, because it's not going to take you to the wrong place. There's a lot of wrong places you can end up with this illness, and you don't have to.
You want to connect with people, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your family, whether it's old school friends or people online. It doesn't matter. You want to connect because it encourages good feelings, happy feelings, warm feelings inside. You're reaching out, you're having conversation.
I was hit hard by health anxiety, and I subsequently didn't go back to that career. I decided to, first of all, take some time off to focus on myself and actually overcome this challenge. But during that sort of transition phase, I like to call it, of my life, I did a lot of soul searching, and I found that the meaningfulness of my work was not what it once used to be. And it was at that point that I decided nobody else should suffer the way that I did.
There have been a lot of studies done, a lot of research around yoga and meditation and mental health. Studies have shown that it does help lower anxiety. It helps lower feelings of sadness or hopelessness.
I've had people come back 2 weeks later and say, it's no longer working. And I ask, okay, how many times have you been doing the mind shift exercises? They said, well, only that once. Okay. How many showers have you had since then? So the mind shifting process is just like maintaining the physicality of our body.
We've all got intuition, and it's there to guide you. So, it's not really a trippy process of, you don't have to be calling a psychic or breaking out tarot cards. Intuition is just like, what are you naturally drawn to? What is that quiet voice in your head urging you to try? Start with your healing process, start with what's obvious, and go with what you're drawn to, and, watch things work out. Be willing to take a chance.
I'm seeing more patients struggling with how they view themselves and their self-identity. A lot of people struggling with knowing where they are in the world and what their contribution is. And sometimes that will spill over into thoughts of suicide, thoughts of self-harm. If it's persistent enough and powerful enough, it will often tip into depression that previously you may not have seen.
It's called Focus on Your Best Self, and it will lead into, so that will be a free webinar, and with a lot of tips and mindset tips and habits to form, and then you'll have an opportunity to sign up for my Focus on Healthy Eating course. And it's unfortunate that we named it Healthy Eating, because it really is your whole lifestyle and your whole best self.
I've never had a session with someone and they did not have an aha, a major breakthrough, a major awareness of something maybe they already knew, but they didn't realize how much this was impacting. Maybe it was a relationship, or maybe it was something about their career, or maybe it was something else that they just did not realize. That
I work with men and women. Men are often forgotten in the addiction to food world. And extremism worlds. Men can also have eating disorders. Men struggle with weight and body image just like women do. However, as we know, our culture and society paints a bit of a different picture.
When you go into any kind of therapeutic practice, you need to have your own therapy. It's good practice, because otherwise we have this thing called transference and counter-transference, which is where if you have a particular filter or belief, so filters are, we use the phrase filter to describe what information we currently have stored about something.
I think the overall part about being a life coach that is tricky is that it kind of has a stigma. Like being a life coach can have a stigma attached to it. Like it's just somebody who just like decides to be a coach and then they give you advice. And I think, yes, I'm glad I went to school for it and have different types of backgrounds and methodologies, but also living it in general, like practicing what you also want to help your clients create and cultivate.
You feel your emotions. If you ever sit back and think about, oh my gosh, I'm shocked, I'm in awe of something, like that just happened. Like you feel it in your gut, or you feel it, in your heart. You feel your heart is heavy. Like your emotions are stored within your body. And when we work on emotions and our feelings and find out where that is and what's causing it, it sometimes can help connect with the food and the physical activity.
And if we forget what that motivation is, which is where people are now, they're forgetting because things are getting in the way, this really needs to be top of mind. And I usually tell people to recite their mission statement when they get up in the morning, a couple of times during the day, and definitely before they go to bed.